And now to Elizabeth Brackett and the President's State of the Union speech last night. Elizabeth.
Phil, the President had a big job last night. First and foremost, restore the country's confidence in his ability to lead. How well did he do? Did he convince disgruntled voters that jobs and the economy are his administration's #1 priority? Did he lay out a new roadmap to pass health care? How well did he wrap up, deliver, and sell his agenda? We'll ask our panel. And they are Thom Serafin, a political and communications consultant who has worked for both Republicans and Democrats. He is founder and CEO of his own firm, Serafin Associates. Ken Smerkel, president of Target Market News, a Chicago-based publication that covers the business of advertising, marketing, and media targeted to black consumers. And Clark Kaywood, who is director of the graduate program in public relations at the Medill Graduate School at Northwestern University. Professor Kaywood teaches graduate classes in crisis management, communications management, marketing, and public relations. Welcome all of you to Chicago tonight. Thanks for joining us. Well, as we said, the stakes were very high for the President last night. Did he deliver that game-changing kind of speech that many said he had to, Thom Serafin?
Well, it wasn't a game changer, but I think he made an impact. Polls before the speech showed about 53% of the people in the country thought he might have been off the wrong track. And afterwards, 77% thought his speech was putting him back on the right track. So I think he had a dent. He was trying to move his policies, move his politics towards the middle. I think he made an impact there.
Ken Smerkel?
I think he did more than just make a great speech. He took control of the message, and that he was able to connect with his audience in a way that moved poll numbers like that in a matter of hours, we're talking about, if not a few days, was pretty remarkable. He did what he had to do with his base. He also did what he had to do in terms of recapturing those independents that have been following him all along. And he made a distinction between Barack Obama year 1, Barack Obama for year 2, and I think he was successful at that.
Clark Kaywood, would you give him that same kind of high mark that the other two do?
Well, officially, this is his first State of the Union address, because last year he wasn't in charge of the Union before, so this is his first address. And I think he certainly changed the way that we viewed his ability to give this particular talk. It's interesting, just from a little different perspective, that we ran some analysis on the talk and in the speech, and this year it was aimed at about a 7th grade level. Which is not to insult the audience or the home audience, but to say that he was making the strongest possible attempt to make it very clear what his agenda was this year.
Last year
it was at the 9th grade level, and Jack Kennedy often spoke at the 12th grade level. So it's by the word choices you make in terms of the lengths of the words, the length of the sentences. There's a vocabulary that you can rely on. So it's just a small test, but it does say something about a deliberate attempt, I think, to make sure that very busy viewers got the message.
And he mentioned that in the speech, that he's been out there speaking to the issues, but somehow it hasn't gotten across. So he's kind of inferring that everybody out there in the world outside of Washington is not real bright. And you have the signs now to indicate that.
Well, we don't want to insult them, but...
Did it work better, are you saying, because it was used shorter words, or was aimed more to 7th graders than a 12th grade level?
Well, we're not quite down to the 5th grade level yet for that show, but I think we are, in fact, saying that because he has so many more items on the agenda, that he had to distinguish between each one, the ones that were in the House, the ones that were not in the House, that panoply of issues at the end, that if he hadn't said those in as terse and pithy a fashion as possible, I think people would lose track of it. They're watching, don't forget, they're doing their video games, they're doing their laundry, they're doing everything else at home.
But what he was really trying to do, it appeared, was to make the economy, the nation understand that the economy was now, and jobs was now the administration's #1 priority, that he got that message.
He definitely established himself in that way. But more importantly, I think that there are folks out there who want to see Barack Obama the campaigner. They want to see that same fervor brought to the governing part of what he's doing.
And do you think they saw that last night?
I think they did. I think in the language, about both words and body language, they saw someone that was a little more self-deprecating, willing to take on his enemies with little jabs here and there, albeit, you know, the Supreme Court's not running for anything, but that spoke to the base, because the base is very angry about the decision made by the court.